Factor analysis. Factor analysis is a general name denoting a class of procedures primarily used for data reduction and summarization. In marketing research, there may be a large number of variables, most of which are correlated and which must be reduced to a manageable level. Factor analysis model. Mathematically, factor analysis is somewhat similar to multiple regression analysis, in that each variable is expressed as a linear combination of underlying factors. Statistics associated with factor analysis. There is parallel test, correlation matrix, communality, agent value, factor loadings plot, factor matrix, factor scores coefficient matrix, Kaiser-Meyer-Olkin or KMO, measure of sampling adequacy, percentage of variance, residuals, and script plot. Conducting factor analysis. There is formulate the problem, construct the correlation matrix, determine the method of factor analysis, determine the number of factors, rotate factors, interpret factors, calculate factor scores, select surrogate variables, and determine the model fit. Application of common factor analysis. The variance after extracting the factors are different from initial agent value. The first factor accounts for 42.84% of the variance, whereas the second accounts for 31.13%, in each case a little less than what was observed in principal component analysis.
My name is Lena Wijaya. My number is 23. Chapter 20. Cluster Analysis Malhotra. Basic concept. Cluster analysis is the class of technique used to classify objects or cases into relative homogeneous group called cluster. Objects in each cluster tend to be similar each other and dissimilar to objects in the other cluster. Cluster analysis is also called classification analysis or numerical taxonomy. Cluster analysis has been used in marketing for a variety of purposes, including the following. Number 1. Segmenting the market. For example, consumer has been clustered on the basis of benefits sought from the purchase of the product. Number 2. Understanding buyer behavior. Cluster analysis can be used to identify homogeneous groups of buyers. Number 3. Identifying new product opportunities. By clustering, brands and product competitive set within the market can be determined. Number 4. Selecting test market. By grouping cities into homogeneous cluster, it is possible to select comparable cities to test various marketing strategies. Number 5. Reducing data. Cluster analysis can be used as general data reduction tool to develop cluster of subgroup of data that are more manageable than individual observation. Statistics associated with cluster analysis. That most clustering methods are relatively simple procedures that are not supported by an extensive body of statistical reasoning. Rather, most clustering methods are heuristics, which are based on algorithms. The following statistics and concepts are associated with cluster analysis. Agglomeration schedule, cluster centroid, cluster center, cluster membership, dendrogram, distances between cluster centers, I-cycle plot, similarity, distance coefficient matrix. Conducting cluster analysis. The first step is to formulate the clustering problem by defining the variables on which the clustering will be based. Then an appropriate distance measure must be selected. The distance measure determines how similar or dissimilar the objects being clustered are. Deciding on the number of clusters required judgment on the part of the researcher. The defined cluster should be interpreted in terms of the variable used to cluster them, and profiled in terms of additional silence variables. Finally, the researcher must assess the validity of the clustering process. Formulate the problem. Perhaps the most important part of formulating the cluster problem is the selecting the variables on which the clustering is based. Inclusion of even one or two irrelevant variables might distort an otherwise useful clustering solution. Basically, the set of variables selected should describe the similarity between objects in terms that are relevant to the marketing research problem. The variable should be selected based on past research, theory, or the consideration of the hypothesis being tested. In exploratory research, the researcher should exercise judgment and intuition. Select distance of similarity measure. The most common approach is to measure similarity in terms of distance between pairs of objects. Objects with a smaller distance between them are more similar to each other than those of larger distance. There are several ways to compute the distance between two objects. The most commonly used measure to similarity is the inclined distance or the square. The inclined distance is the square root the sum of the squared difference in value for each variable. Other distance measures are also available. Use of different distance measures may lead to different clustering results. Hence, it is feasible to use different measures and compare the results. Select the clustering procedure. Clustering procedure can be hierarchical, non-hierarchical, or other procedures. Hierarchical clustering is characteristic by the development or hierarchy or tree-like structure. Hierarchical method can be agglomerative or divisive. Agglomerative clustering starts with each object in separate clusters. Clusters are formed by grouping objects into bigger and bigger clusters. This process is continued until all objects are members of the single cluster. Divisive clustering starts with all object groups in the single cluster. Clusters are divided or split until each object is in separate cluster. Decide on the number of clusters. A major issue in cluster analysis is deciding on the number of clusters. Although there are no hard and fast rules, some guidelines are available. 1. Theoretical, conceptual, or practical consideration might suggest a certain number of clusters. For example, if the purpose of clustering is to identify market segments, management may want a particular number of clusters. 2. In hierarchical clustering, the distance at which clusters are combined can be used as criteria. This information can be obtained from the agglomeration schedule or from the dendrogram. 3. In non-hierarchical clustering, the ratio of total within group variate to between group variate can be plotted against the number of clusters. The point at which an elbow or a sharp bend occurs indicates an appropriate number of clusters. Increasing the number of clusters beyond this point is usually not worthwhile. 4. The relative size of the clustering solution. My name is Lena Wijaya.
My name is Muhammad Hanifan Fadlan, and I will talk about Chapter 9, Dari Gibson, Rules and Time Analysis. In the business world, time series data is needed as a reference for making decision, projection, or future planning. To use time series data for the purpose of making projection, it's also necessary to know some important assumptions. First, there is the dependence of future event on the previous period. Number 2 is activities that occur in the future follow a pattern that occurred in the past. And the third, relationship of the past can be determined through observation or research. Time series components. We have 4 components of time series. Number 1 is secular trend. Secular trend are defined as a general movement in a long time. This movement can be either a straight line or parabolic that goes up or down. Number 2 is cycle movement. Cycle factor is a pattern of data in a time series that walks and repeats itself over several years. Number 3 is seasonal fluctuation. The third component of time series is a seasonal variation. This factor is shown by the existence of regular annual patterns. Seasonal variation repeat every year. And the last is irregular variations. This factor is shown by the existence of regular annual patterns. Method of starting. Smoothing methods are widely used to eliminate or reduce randomness from time series data. The method commonly used for the purpose of smoothing data is the moving average method of measuring response in the certain time period, or the exponential smoothing method. And this is a three kind of smoothing method. Number one is moving average. The moving average method is widely used to determine the trend of a time series data. By using this moving average method, the periodic series of the original data is transformed into a smoother moving average which is less dependent of oscillation. Number two is exponential smoothing. Another smoothing method that is often used is exponential smoothing. This smoothing method is sometimes more efficient than a moving average because of its ability to calculate a smoothing value for each response measurement. And the last is use of the smoothing method for the future projections. For projecting a value at a particular time, the use of the moving average method requires the average value of k from the previous time data to project the value of the data at the specific time. Next, we talk about trend method and relationship analysis. Besides using the information previously described, future prediction for a value of the variable associated with a particular time series data can be estimated through the trend method and relationship analysis. And this is three kind of trend method and relationship analysis. Number one is free trend method. The free trend method tries to see the pattern of the observed data through the scattered point of the sales data pair at any time. Number two is semi-average trend method. The semi-average trend method can be used for forecasting purpose by informing an equation like a regression analysis. This method can be used if the data encountered is the event, so that it can be divided into two equal groups. And number three is the trend of moment method. The trend moment method is analytical method that can be used for forecasting purpose by forming equation a plus bx as the gap is the review in the spring average trend method. In this application, this method does not require the amount of data to be even. And the last one is decomposition method. The decomposition method is based on the assumption that time series data are a combination of pattern and error components. Data is pattern plus error. The purpose of the decomposition analysis is to extract the time series components into sub-patterns, not the basic patterns. By separating certain patterns, forecasting is expected to be better. The advantage of doing another trade decomposition is that there is a long-term forecast and the short-term forecast can be identified separately, so that it is easy for management to make. My name is Muhammad.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fakhadi Yaksa, present number 29, B class. Here I want to explain about univariate analysis. First, click variable view. In the column name, write age. Decimal column, make it 0. And then write region. At decimal column, make it 0. And then in the label column, write age remaja. And then write region in the label column. Then click data view. Open the Microsoft Excel. Copy age to SPSS. Copy. paste in the H column. Then open again Excel. Copy according or score. Coding is number 1 is Jakarta, number 2 Central Jakarta, number 3 West Jakarta, number 4 South Jakarta, number 5 North Jakarta. And then we copy region to the region column. Copy. Paste in the region column. And then click again variable view. Click value in region column. Value 1. Is Jakarta. Value 2. Central Jakarta. Value 3. West Jakarta. Value 4. South Jakarta. Sorry. Value 5. North Jakarta. Click OK. Click data view again. Click analyze. Click descriptive statistic. Then click frequencies. Region. Click OK. And then result the univariate analysis. Finish. And our table. And then the result of reliability analysis of my data. And then I want make analyze is validity test and reliability test. I have made the tables and then open the SPSS. New data. Click variable view. In the name column, write item 1 until item 5. Because on the table I have 5 respondent, 5 question, and I have 20 respondents. So write item 1 until item 5. Decimal column, make it 0. Click data view and then open Excel. Copy the result angket. Copy and paste in column item 1 until item 5. And then click analyze, correlate, bivariate. Click OK. The result correlation of validitas test. Can be state valid if an R count is bigger than R table. R table of 20 respondents, there are 444. And then back again to SPSS. All the result is valid because the result score is bigger than our table. And then I want to make reliabilitas test. Back again to SPSS. Then click analyze, scale, reliability analysis. Control A, exit, score total. Click statistics. Click scale if item deleted. Continue. Click OK. So the result of variables of reliabilitas analysis. The result crunch batch alpha is bigger than our table. Our table is 0, 40, 100, 44. and Cronenberg alpha is bigger than R table. And then the result of reliability analysis of my data. And then I want to make a bivariate analysis. First, and then column, write Gizi. In the label column, write Gizi buruk and values 1, Gizi buruk, values 2, Gizi baik. Okay. And then in the name column, write economy. Economy. In the values, write and then value 1, mampu, value 2, tidak mampu. Click OK. Then click data view. Open the Excel. I have made the table about bivariate analysis. And copy, coding, and pasta in the column Gizi. Wait. Copy, pasta in the Gizi column, and then open again the Excel. Copy coding about economy. Pasta in the economy column. Click analyze. Descriptive statistic. Click cross steps. Click statistics again. Click square. Click continue. Click cells. Click row and total. Click continue. OK. Click OK. And then the result cross steps about bivariate analysis. Bivariate analysis can be state significant is P as big as 0.012 and P less 0.005. Oops. Yes. Very good.